In this section, I will show you how to set up your Triumph VS as a base station. In Home page, click Settings and then click GNSS. In the GNSS page, select satellite systems that you want to use. Then click Receive Data button and make sure nothing is programmed to receive. If anything is programmed, change it to None and click Apply. In Transmit Data, select your transmission media. Here I select UHF modem and click its Format button and select RTK RTCM3 format. Then for period, I select period of 1 Hz, once per second, and click Apply. If I want to record raw GNSS data for post-processing too, I click the Record Data button and click the Format and select for recording period. I also select 1 Hz. In VRS network section, just make sure nothing is active. For elevation mask, I keep it at 10 degrees. Then I click Duration and select Manual so I can stop the base station when I want. Also make sure then Lift and Tilt and Auto Repeat boxes are not checked, and select Delay of None. If you have in-band interference rejection option, you can check it in here. I then click Accept Position Result of and select Accept All. Though it is not important because we don't want to calculate any position here as rover. Back in the settings screen, click Communications button. Since I selected UHF for transmission, I need to set up my UHF parameters. I click and set up my frequency and output power. Use maximum power if your rover is more than 1 kilometer away. Also select protocol and protocol details and use similar settings in all rovers. Then in Setting, click Actions and select Fixed Base Station as the task you want your Triumph VS to perform. Other items in settings are familiar to you. Select them as you need. And in Antenna section, enter your antenna height. In Save Settings, you can save your settings so you can recall them later in Recall Settings. Now click the Action button. Fixed Base Station icon is on the right side of the action screen. Click it. In here, give it a name like Base 44, and for layer, as before, your calculated positions will be recorded in the format as you select for the layer. But it has no effect in the raw GNSS data transmitted to rovers. Here you can also enter type, symbol, and attributes if you want. Now click the base station coordinate box. Here you have 3 choices. You can select coordinates from a list of points in the Triumph VS database if you have the accurate coordinate of the point that you want to set up your base station on. Or you can enter its coordinate position, again, if you know it accurately. If there is no point in your neighborhood which you know its accurate coordinates, you can select the option of calculate position for, let's say, for 10 seconds. In this option, Triumph BS will calculate standalone positions and average them for the amount that you specify. And then Triumph BS will use it as the coordinate of the base station. This self-calculated standalone position could be off by several meters, but it is still good when you want to do relative type surveying, like calculating perimeter and area of a parcel, or make topographic map of an area. Your result in such cases is more accurate and faster than using a faraway reference station. You can also use this option in an innovative and efficient way even when you want to survey absolute and accurate coordinates of many points. I will show you how. You can set up Triumph BS as a base station and select this option of calculate position, say for 5 seconds, and use it as coordinates of the base station. Also select to record raw GNSS data in this base station. In the field, first thing you do is to set up your base station and start it. After acquiring satellites, it will average 5 seconds of standalone data and will use it as its base position. Then it will start transmitting RTK corrections using this calculated position. It will also start recording raw GNSS data. Then unpack your other gears and start to survey points with RTK using this base station. Since all your points are near your base station, you can survey each point in about 1 minute or so. If you have 20 points to survey, the whole process of going to points and surveying may take 1 hour or so. During this period, your base station is recording raw GNSS data too. When your RTK surveys of your 20 points are done, you have their accurate coordinates relative to this base station. Now you can post-process the raw GNSS data of the base station with a reference station anywhere in your neighborhood of up to tens of kilometers away. 1 hour of data is enough to give you very accurate absolute position of the base station. To get the absolute coordinates of your points, all you need to do now is to shift the RTK derived coordinates according to the difference between the self-calculated standalone coordinates of the base station and its newly derived post-processed coordinates. The shift is not more than few meters, so you do not need to worry about curvature of the Earth and other grid coordinate system transformation issues. This is a very efficient, accurate, and safe technique if you want to survey many points in an area. Otherwise, you have to stay at each point for a long time because each point has a long baseline to the reference station. This technique also saves you time to find, establish, or occupy a known base station near your work area. This way, base and rover can be managed by one person. Note that each time you start the base station, it will calculate a new base position, which could be several meters away from the previous one. Make sure that you do not restart the base station during the whole process of surveying other point. Or you can manually enter an approximate position for it not to change with restart. If your rovers are too far, you may want to connect external UHF antenna to Triumph VS to extend its UHF reach. In this case, you must go to UHF screen and select external for the UHF antenna. If you want to set up Triumph VS for a post-process base station and not as an RTK station, just don't select any data transmission in transmit data section of GNSS screen.